Hey everybody, hope you are all very well, and as that little intro has probably clued you in, we're gonna have a little tutorial in this lesson about how to play the tapped intro from the Dream Theater song Scarred from the Awake album. For those of you that are subscribed over my Substack, we're also going to get into some of the other little grooves and ideas as well. There's a lot of interesting little bass ideas in this song, so if you're really interested, head on over to my Substack and you can see the extended version of this lesson. But here, we're going to get into this tapped intro. This is what draws a lot of bass players to this particular tune. It's worth saying, actually, this track, this album, kind of comes from what I like to think of as Dream Theater's halcyon period. Certainly for me, those albums in that period, Awake, Change of Seasons, Falling into Infinity, Metropolis Part 2, they're really important albums for me. They were, from what I think of as the band's golden era, when they were a real progressive band as opposed to a metal band. And those albums were really, really important to me in my formative years and my development as a bass player, especially after having switched to the sixth string. These are really important albums to me 20 odd years after I first... more than 20 years after I first heard them. So let's get into this tapped intro. It's a wonderful little piece of bass writing. Now, we are in the key of B minor. Okay, that's our home bass, and all of the chords are revolving around that B root note. Okay? Now, the way that John approaches tapping is usually tapping out chords within the context of a bass groove. He does this in Scarred, he does it in Metropolis Part 1, he does it on the Chapman stick in New Millennium. So it's just that's how John likes to approach tapping. He's not a particularly flamboyant tapper, as bass players go. But let's just take a look at what's going on with the harmony first. So we're in the key of B minor. So the first chord of the four, so we've got these four chords that we're tapping out in this intro. First chord is B minor 7. The second chord is B minor with a major 6. Then we've got B5. And then finally, we've got B at 11. So those are the four chords that we're dealing with in this tapped intro. Now what's happening is that you've essentially got two separate bass parts going on at the same time. And if you're very new to tapping, or you don't tap very much, as I don't, I'm not really... I don't tap much on the electric bass. It's just not really what I'm massively into. So the way that I worked this intro for the playthrough I released recently is I worked on both of the hands separately and then joined them together, because you've got one thing going on, these double stops in the plucking hand, and in the fretting hand you've kind of got a bass groove. That's what's kind of going on in the fretting hand. So if you work on them separately and then join them together, that, for me at least, is what's been the best way to kind of bring this intro together. So let's deal with the plucking hand first. So for the first three double stops, I'm using my index and middle finger. For the last one, I use index and ring. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 3. Okay, let's look at what the notes are in these. So for the first double stop, we've got the minor 7 and we've got the minor 3. So on the 6th string, that's at 14th fret. We've got our A and we've got our D. Second double stop, we just move the index finger down 1 fret to G sharp. So that's our major 6. Okay, so our double stop is minor 3rd at the top, the D natural, and then we've got the G sharp. Then we move down a little bit. Then we've got the B at the top at 11th fret, and we've got the F sharp at 11th fret on the C and the G strings. So that's our third double stop. Fourth one, we've got the B still at 11th fret, and we now have the E at 9th fret on the G string. So that's the 11. That E is the 11 of the chord. So you've got B add 11 for that last chord. So there, I've switched, as I mentioned earlier, I've switched to using my ring finger on the B, and my index finger is on the E. Okay? So let's just work, excuse me, let's just work through those. We'll do them really slowly. We'll do it for a 4 count on each one. We'll go through it twice. So 1, 2, 3, and 3, and 2, 3, 3. Okay, so that's what's going on in the plucking hand. And what I would do is initially just put a metronome on and just play those, as we did there, just as whole notes. Just and making sure that we get a really nice clean contact on each note so that the chord is always consistent, because you've got to keep that intro going as you move through it. So initially focus on a really clean contact, really nice clear note initially. Okay? So that's the fretting hand, plucking hand dealt with. Now let's look at what the fretting hand is doing. It's a repeating pattern, much like we've got with the fretting hand, with the plucking hand, and it's just based around a B minor pentatonic idea. So we've got the B at 7th fret on the E, A at 5th fret, F sharp on the B string, and then we've got the E at 5th fret. So those 4 notes. Okay. Now the way that the bass line works, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 1, and 1, and 1. So we've got, it's going from B to A, kind of a pull off. Kind of a tap, pull off, hammer. And then you hammer from A to B again. Tap, pull off, hammer. And 1. And 1. And 1. And then you hammer from the E to the F sharp, A to the B. Oh, scruffy. Bit better. So that's what's happening in the fretting hand. That's the end bit better. So that is just keeping going over and over and over. Again, as with what's going on in the plucking hand, clarity is everything. Making sure that you get clean contact on each of the notes. So just like that. Fretting hand alone. So then we can start to join the two hands together. We'll do it pretty slowly first. So 1, 2, 3, and. Tiny bit scuffy on that last time around, but you get the idea. So that's a little look inside that main tapped groove that John and Mike Portnoy kind of bring the whole tune in. So hopefully that gives you a little look inside, and I absolutely recommend kind of going on and checking out all of the other stuff that John is doing in the tune. Enjoy. Thanks so much for checking out this lesson, guys. If you would like to see a full extended version with some additional stuff, you can click the link to my website down there in the description. You'll also find an ever-increasing transcription vault. I'm releasing a couple of transcriptions a month. You'll also find articles that I've written and a whole lot more. So like I said, link down there in the description. See you soon.